little wild card for you. Like I said, it's gonna hit home for you a little bit. I just heard this one. I think it was yesterday. Oh yeah, when did you text me? Yesterday or Wednesday? Whatever day you text me, I had actually heard it that morning, and I was just like, "Huh, that's interesting." Oh no, you hit me up on Tuesday when we had that little discussion. You said say this for Friday. I was like, bet. I heard it the next day on Wednesday. So there's a certain quarterback that plays in NFC East whose quarterback is starting to fizzle his way on out the window. And there's also a quarterback in the AFC South whose contract is fizzling it out. Each organization is a little unsure of how they want to pay said quarterback. And to a degree, each is a little unproven. So it's kind of like it kind of factors in how you want to pay these guys. Now, on one hand, one guy's been dealt fairly good hand. Crazy teams. They just can't seem to get over the hump.
Okay.
The other guy, he's the touted prince. But he hasn't quite had the success that everyone thought that he would at this point.
Everyone but you. Everyone but you. Everyone but you.
No. There's a lot of people who agree with me as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who agree with me as well. But, the overgleaming cast says he's going to show it someday. So, as I'm saying, Dallas Cowboys, little unsure of how they want to pay Dak. Jacksonville Jaguars, everyone is quite sure that they want to pay Trevor. But the overleaning look of it is, yeah, you picked up that option, but you got some options here. You got some options here. And that's the case for both of these teams right now. Even if they do re-sign these guys, Dak is going to get paid. But that next contract, it's going to come with a few more stipulations than that last one did. On Trevor contract, I don't know how big it's going to be. I assume it's going to be pretty hefty given.
You're saying that those two teams might make a trade.
Boy, what does that situation look like? You have a surefire, you're going to at least get to the playoffs guy in that. But over here, you have what could be an up-and-coming star. And what better place to bud than the star itself?
Okay.
Imagine Trevor Lawrence budding in Dallas, Texas. I could see the storylines now. The prince who was promised on America's team. The world would go crazy. I could see 10 mil before Jerry hits 87. 10 bill before he hits 87.
All right, so here's the deal. I've been there at like 9.7 right now.
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal.
I think they're 9.3.
If they were to do a deal like that, that would if the Jags were to do a deal like that, that would probably be idiotic.
No. Think about this. Dak has a no trade clause. If he plays out this contract, he's a free agent. You don't have to do anything. You just have to pay him.
See, the Jags know what they have to do for Trevor.
Do they?
I think, yeah. Because my thoughts are...
Because it was where they thought they did it. They thought they did it.
They thought they did it. There was a lot more things that were underneath the hood that needed to be fixed. And it also depends on who the coach is. Like you said, to start off the conversation, is based on who the coach is. If Doug Peterson decides to take the reins and be calling plays like he should be doing, Trevor can flourish. Trevor can do what he needs to do. He can grow. Because if the Cowboys don't win this year, they're not bringing back that head coach. That coach is gone after this year. And the next guy that comes in, he's going to either want a fresh start or he's going to want a veteran quarterback, because I don't think he wants Dak to be his guy. And then Trevor will be a good spot for them because you will have a vet, but also a guy who knows what to do in certain times. Also, he's in the NFC. You can win the NFC. They're going to get to the playoffs. We know that. Can they win it? Get over the hump? You can, because you will have all the pieces you need. You need a quarterback. It's not about the receivers no more. You need a quarterback. So
get you over the
hump. Trevor, if he was with the Cowboys, Trevor could get them over the hump. The thing about going
is he just a slightly more talented Dak Prescott?
No. Dak ain't look, bro. Dak ain't taking the Jaguars to no playoffs at all, and even in this time period with Doug Peterson, Dak ain't doing it at all.
Last time I checked, Dak was the second leading MVP candidate, so
he could be the second leading
MVP.
He could be the second leading MVP all he want to, but he ain't leading the team. They ain't got nothing. They got open holes. He ain't doing it.
Oh, they had 9 All-Pros.
We talking about who?
Dallas.
Exactly. The Jags couldn't even, bro. In my life, as a Jaguar fan, Patriot fan, but Jaguar is like, I'm rooting for you.
Off the top of my head, I know for sure. I can think of at least 2 players.
Fred Taylor in his best year.
Nick Ngakwe, he could at least been second team All-Pro.
In their best year. In Fred's Fred got the Pro Bowl, I think, once, maybe twice.
Jalen
Ramsey, yeah. It wasn't until Ramsey where the change came, where they were like, dang, we haven't been putting y'all guys in the Pro Bowl at all. Maybe we should put you guys in the Pro Bowl. Yeah, maybe you should, because they putting up numbers, but you just don't, because of the Jaguars. If Dak were to go to Jacksonville, it'll be a catastrophic failure. But here's the deal. Would the Jaguars consider it? It depends on what happens in 4 days. In 4 days, the Jaguars, I don't know why they did it in 4 days, because coming up, the NCAA is about to drop their information as well. And I think it's in 4 days as well. But in 4 days, the city makes an announcement on the new stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so do you want to say if you don't build a new stadium, you bringing in Dak Prescott shows you ain't really caring about winning.
So why waste money on the renovations if you're building a new stadium?
So the thing is, the renovations, the issue is that where
you just did that 3 years ago.
You're right. The thing is, they want the Super Bowl, and the Miami Dolphins and then did so many renovations to that stadium before they did the one they just did, and it's like if you want the Super Bowl, how is this going to play out? That's one. Two, you want to keep the Florida Georgia game, because Kirby Smart damn sure don't want it to be in Jacksonville. He want a home and home. Gators like, yo, we want it here. It's a great atmosphere, but they want a better stadium. So technically it's their stadium. Technically, from history point of view, the Jags, the only reason why they got a stadium in the first place is because Georgia and Florida met up there to play in a game. But if the Jags get a new stadium, Trevor ain't going nowhere. But if the Jags don't get that stadium, there's an opportunity for him to go elsewhere. And I think that is an option. The Cowboys will be the first in line to try to make a deal to get him, because they need a guy and they don't want a rookie. Because if they wanted a rookie, they would have made the moves necessary to be picking in the top 5 this year if they wanted a quarterback. But they don't want a quarterback. They want Dak to work out so much, but he's not. And if he does it, they're not going for a rookie no more. Because that's the thing about it. Dak wasn't supposed to be starting in the first place. It was supposed to be Tony Romo. They don't like young quarterbacks, or they don't like They're not drafting for you to be the starter.
Tony was undrafted and started young.
Bledsoe got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, but Tony was going to take that again.
Some of the last quarterback they drafted for the purpose of them starting.
Well, they haven't really drafted anybody,
and they've had an opportunity. I love what Dak has been able to do. He has exceeded expectations. He has definitely done that. But I can't keep looking at the 49ers and the Eagles and the Lions and the Rams and whoever else wants to walk by me and get to a championship. I can't keep looking at that every single year. Like you said, how long Jerry got, we don't know. So you gonna put all your chips in on Dak, or are you gonna go get yourself a guy who could actually win you games? The Cowboys will be more interested to make that deal, or to make the deal to wait for Trevor to be open. The Jaguars, they'll be idiots to make that deal. Because Dak can't win with nine all pros. They ain't gonna win with zero with no O line.
I feel that.
Like, but that is a scary thought. Because if he goes to the Cowboys, that star will rise.
Y'all say that, but I'm not so sure. But I would like to see it. I like to see the possibilities.
I think the Cowboys should think outside the box in what they do next in their future.
Oh, they're drafting Shedeur Sanders.
What's your real thoughts on him?
Surprisingly, I actually did like the fact that he actually really does get better every year. It really when I saw him this year, I was like, okay, that's not the kid I saw last year. And it's not the kid I saw last year at all.
From Jackson State to Colorado, he's definitely
Jackson State to Colorado was a different kid.
Yeah.
So if he can continue to build on that mark, I wish clearly he's tough. Cause boy
get hit.
Boy, does he get hit. And I think he only weighs like 215. So obviously he gets older, puts on a little more weight on him. Obviously, hopefully he gets a little better O-line and better teams around him. He obviously play better and he throw the doggone ball. So
I feel like his release he has a long release, but
it's a very long release. That's why I say I'm surprised he puts the numbers up that he does because he has such a long release. But he gets the ball out. I think his eyes work very
really
fast.
well.
It's just he just moves slow.
Brian Leftwich had a long release, and Brian Leftwich in college,
Brian had a stupid arm though.
He had a big arm.
Shedeur arm ain't that big. He just has a good arm.
He should be. I mean, you've been training with all the best players, coaches.
I mean, like I said, he's what, 21? He's got a long road to go.
Is Justin Herbert? Is this his make it or break it year?
Yep.
Don't tell Ed that.
Oh, I'll tell Ed to his face.
Ed gonna tell you like, he the next guy we got. This is him.
That boy got 2 years to get to the playoffs. If he don't go by 25 years,
especially with that coach.
I told y'all he should have requested a trade last year if they didn't fire that boy.
Because dude's an idiot.
Trash.
Like, I think some guys need to understand you're a better coordinator than you are an actual coach.
Clearly. I mean,
he
wouldn't have got past year 2. I mean, the dude was coached for 4 years. I don't understand that. But to each their own, So, yeah, this is definitely his. He got 2 years.
What about you got Justin Herbert, you got Trevor Lawrence, and I'm gonna give you one more who's also on the I don't want to say chopping block, but he's definitely a question too, because NFL contracts ain't always guaranteed. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen is an interesting one because people like to gloss over, and I keep thinking about this with Jalen. People like to say the only team that gave 49ers trouble that year were the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, last year, or are you talking about
the Super Bowl year?
Okay.
There are 2 things that the Philadelphia Eagles did that year. They knocked out the 49ers quarterback, but like I said before, those teams were going back and forth. This vaunted 49ers defense, Jalen and Shane were doing a thing on that too.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the Super Bowl, who put up 30-plus points? That was Jalen. They had a tush push. He threw for 1. He ran for 2 more. He threw for like 300 yards. They were playing offense. The defense was getting thrashed. Jalen and their offense kept them in that game. You got a new coordinator who refused to run the ball.
Bro, I don't know.
I
I get it, man. Look, Yeah, at this point, you just gotta stop asking. You just gotta stop telling the coordinators to run the ball because we saw this past Super Bowl. They lost the game because they didn't run the ball. They ran the ball at the end. And the game's over.
So, do I think they will have another down year? No. Do I think they will be Super Bowl contenders? I don't think so.
The
I don't
Eagles,
think
the
so.
Eagles
Because
see
because because listen to this. Because what people fail to realize, and they like to poo poo on how Zeke played that last year in Dallas. Zeke had 12 touchdowns. Was he bolstering for 1,500 yards? No.
in the end zone.
He was getting in the end zone. He was your short yardage guy. He did his job. Everyone in Philly right now is good at their job. And then who did they just bring in? A better version of Zeke right now. How did Dak look during those times? And how did Jalen perform in the playoffs? Let's combine those two. Hello, Kellen. Let's bolster our pass game a little bit. Realize that we can run the ball. Because Kellen did do that as well. And Zeke had some good years with Kellen as well. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but if it works out to the best of his ability and Jalen continues to progress like he's shown, yeah, they could do something.
And I think
if he does it, like you were saying, it could get ugly
because the
he
Eagles
just signed
fan
a
base
contract too. So he's
fan base
also
don't
on that Justin thing. You got 2 years to do something.